It is finally time. Hello everybody, I am Dan for Derek Films here, and in this video I will be starting my NHL 18 franchise. And you'll see the team that I pick here in a second. You actually probably already saw it from the title. I pretty much gave it away. Actually, I gave it away back. What am I talking about? I don't know. We are going to be doing the Los Angeles Kings. The storyline is that Tom Hanks, another celebrity there out of the LA area, the Hollywood area, he's going to go ahead and buy the Los Angeles Kings, or at least the majority of it, just like Arnold Schwarzenegger did in my Los Angeles Rams franchise for Madden 18, which is the other franchise series on this channel. And the reason that I picked the Los Angeles Kings is because that they're getting up there in age. They were very, very good in 2012, very good in 2014. I believe they won Stanley Cups both of those years. They're a very solid team, but they're missed the playoffs over the past couple years. It's not been a good story here in Los Angeles. A lot of their key players they've retained for a long time, and yeah, they're getting older. And one of these guys, one of the key players on this team, is Drew Doughty. He's 27 years of age. He is that elite defenseman, one of the best defensemen in the league. I'm excited to have Drew Doughty on my team. 91 overall. He's an absolute beast. Top 2 defenseman there, and yeah, again, he's a Norris Trophy winner, so he is literally one of the best defensemen in the league. Another member of the current core that is aging is Anze Kopitar. Kopitar struggled last year in the 2016 to 2017 NHL season. He struggled to score points. He looked a little slow, but hopefully he can rebound. He's a very, very good defensive forward, a lot like Patrice Bergeron, and I'm excited to have Kopitar there. He can kill off all the penalties, and the guy on the power play, the opposite of the penalty kill, would be Jeff Carter here. He is an offensive center. So we got the defensive center, the offensive center, and these guys are pretty much interchangeable on the first and second line pretty much. So yeah, Jeff Carter is an absolute monster offensively. He led the team in scoring in the 2016 and 2017 NHL season, in at least goals. I'm pretty sure he got points too. But Jeff Carter is a monster, and I definitely want to have him here in the immediate future, not the long-term future, because obviously of age and declining and all that. Jonathan Quick, the elite goaltender. Look at this guy. He's an absolute monster. When he can get going, he can be very, very good. And when he can't get going, he's just average, which is nice. So this guy's never really that bad. So Jonathan Quick is a monster, and I'm also excited to have him here on the Kings. So you're wondering, like, how did they miss the playoffs with these guys? I don't know, because they run into salary cap problems because they overpaid players from when they won the Stanley Cup. I can't even speak. Tyler Toffoli here in the somewhat future. I mean, they're not like prospects, but they're not old at all. Tyler Toffoli right there, right-wing sniper, 83 overall, 25 years of age, medium top 6 potential. That is a guy that I like right there. We got to grow him, probably beside Jeff Carter. And yeah, he's going to be pretty much the primary sniper on this team. Put him there on the power play with Carter. Oh man, that is going to be sick. Sick. Absolutely disgusting. His line mate is going to be Tanner Pearson. So that's right. We're going to reunite that 70s line with Pearson, Toffoli, and Carter. They all wear number 70. That's why it's called that 70s line. And Tanner Pearson is pretty much just the equivalent of Tyler Toffoli, except that he is a two-way forward. So, I mean, maybe we could grow him alongside Anze Kopitar there, and they can both kill off penalties. I don't know. A nice two-way forward is never that... is actually good. I don't know why I was about to say never that bad. They're good. They're good. Derek Forbort, last year he emerged as Drew Doughty's second man, his right-hand man, Drew Doughty's right-hand man. And yeah, Derek Forbort is a beast. I know it lists him as a top 6 defenseman, but we're going to play him on the first pairing. Hopefully that doesn't affect his growth at all. Hopefully it actually improves his growth because we're giving him so much ice time. And he's already good, so if he gets even better, that'll be fantastic. But Derek Forbort is a very, very good defenseman. The only real true prospect on this team right here is Gabriel Velarde. He fell in the draft all the way to, what does that say, 11th? He fell all the way to 11th in the draft. He was projected to go top 5. He fell all that way. Los Angeles picks him up, and I think that's a steal. Hopefully this guy can be very, very good. He's a medium top 6 also. He's a two-way forward, so you might see him here in about 2 or 3 years, and maybe hopefully 2 years. And yeah, anyway, right here, these are some guys that if you're going to win a Stanley Cup, you want on your team. Jake Muzzin and Alec Martinez, 2 fantastic defensemen as second pairing defensemen. They're just perfect. All right, if you're going for a Stanley Cup, you want these 2 guys on your team, but they are getting up there in age, which makes them trading assets if we want to tank or we want to do good. So it depends how we do in the season. If we start off good, then keep the guys, actually build up, trade for good players. If we're not doing good, we got to tank. All right, we got to get younger. We got to tank, get these young guys in. I'm showing some Dustin Brown type players right here, I like to call them. Also, Mike Camilleri, the Kings signed him in the offseason, and yeah, he might just be trade bait, again, depending how we simulate. Who was the other guy? Oh, yeah, Trevor Lewis. Trevor Lewis and Dustin Brown were shown there before Camilleri. And then here, right here, Marian Gaborik. Oh, my gosh, his contract is so bad. He's old. He's declining. He's still signed for like 6 more years or something. If we can unload him, I'll take that. That'll be a win. Anyway, right here, we are going to be moving Kevin Gravel up to the NHL and all these other guys down. Brodzinski, McDermott, and Foligno. I know the Kings signed Foligno in free agency so that he could play in the NHL, but we're going to move him down because I want Kevin Gravel to get that playing time so he can maybe develop. I don't know, Gravel and Ledoux, they're on that third pairing. They could be nice, I guess, if they develop correctly. Gabriel Velarde, we're actually going to sign him here because the Kings did not do that in the offseason. Another thing we are going to do is edit our trade block. As you can see, we clear out everyone there. We're going to put in Mike Camilleri there because, again, if we're not doing well, or I would just like to get rid of him anyway. Like, there's really no room for him on this team. Obviously, Marian Gaborik, if we can get rid of that contract, that would be nice. So here are the starting lineups for the first season. Mike Camilleri, Anze Kopitar, and Marian Gaborik make up the first line. Tyler Toffoli, Jeff Carter, and Tanner Pearson make up the second line. Third line is Trevor Lewis, Nick Shore, and Dustin Brown. And then finally on the fourth line, we have Kyle Clifford, Nick Dowd, and Adrian Kempe. And Kempe with that low top 6 potential could potentially be nice. Derek Forbort, Drew Doughty, again, first pairing. Second pairing is going to be Alec Martinez and Jake Muzzin. Third pairing right here, Kevin Gravel and Paul Ledoux. So that is how that is going to go. And then I'll just quickly show the lineup right here. Overall, I mean, we could definitely be better. We don't have too much depth here. Our star players are star players. But, again, just not much depth because we signed all of these guys as such big contracts, man. And that was a mistake by the Kings organization. Anyway, Jonathan Quick right here, obviously is going to be our starting goaltender. And Darcy Kemper will be his backup. And we'll take a look here at the scratch players. It is going to be Andy Andreoff. Yeah, there's really no room for him, I guess. But, yeah, I'd like to put him in there. I guess he could still potentially grow. The leaders on this team are going to be Anze Kopitar and Dustin Brown. Obviously, the former captain and the captain. Actually, no, I said that wrong. The captain and the former captain. And as you can see right here, the current captain, like I just said, is Anze Kopitar. I can't speak today, man. What the heck is going on? Jeff Carter is going to be an alternate. Andrew Doughty will be an alternate. So the big 3 right there, plus Jonathan Quick, but you only have 2 alternates. I'm sorry, Jonathan Quick. Anyway, let's take a look at the AHL and see what they have in store right here. The guys I try to emphasize are Mersch, Iafallo, I can't pronounce their names, Brodzinski, and yeah, those 3 guys right there on offense, I'd like to sort of emphasize. That's what I did. I emphasized them throughout the lineup. So there's really no true prospect here besides Velarde, but he's not AHL eligible. So I might have made a mistake there signing that contract. I hope that doesn't affect his growth at all. But Zakov will be the starting goaltender, and that is what the AHL is looking like. In our division, we are in the Pacific Division, which means we have to go against the Anaheim Ducks back-to-back conferences. They lost both times, but again, the Anaheim Ducks are very, very good. The Calgary Flames, Johnny Gaudreau, they're pretty solid. The Edmonton Oilers, led by Connor McJesus and Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's a 1-2 punch right there, and that's about to be a dynasty in the making. Of course, we are right there. And then we have the Arizona Coyotes, not a great team. They're sort of rebuilding. The San Jose Sharks, they're getting older just like us, but I guess they're still competitive. And there's also the Vancouver Canucks here coming up next. Yeah, they're not really good. They're like Arizona. They're both trash. I'm sorry. And then the wild card in this division, I would say, not like an actual wild card like in baseball or something. Like the wild card probably would be the Vegas Golden Knights to see how they do. They're the dark horse, I should say. Like, it depends. They could be good. They could be very bad. In real life, they're very good. We'll see how they simulate here. And now some teams that I think we need to look out for are, yeah, right here. I'm going to list them. First off, the Pittsburgh Penguins, obviously the defending Stanley Cup champions, led by Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Phil Kessel. They also have some nice depth alongside them there. They're the definition of a dynasty. Chris Letang on defense. If he can stay healthy, they'll be fine. Even without him, I guess they'll be fine. And Matt Murray in goal, who has emerged as one of the league's best goaltenders, even though he's like, what, 23? That's insane. Yeah, the previously mentioned Anaheim Ducks, I suspect them to be very, very good this year. They are led by Ryan Getzlav, Corey Perry, and Ryan Kessler. They just have so much talent on this team. They got nice supporting players like Silverberg and Cogliano and Eves and all this. I mean, they're just a very solid team. Their first defensive pairing is just absolutely outstanding. Cam Fowler and Hampus Lindholm. And then even their second one with Sami Vatanen and Josh Manson, that's pretty good too. And in goal, they have John Gibson, who's not the greatest in the world, but he's definitely not bad. And yeah, the Ducks, they could potentially make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final this year. It depends. Next up, the Edmonton Oilers. Again, just a very dominant team from the Pacific Division. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, both these guys were signed to like combined $21 million. Combined, I think they were signed to $21 million. That's absolutely massive. They also got Milan Lucic and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins there as a supporting cast role. Oscar Klefbom, Adam Larson, Andre Sekera, and Darnell Nurse make up a pretty good defensive core. And then in goal is Cam Talbot. So again, I think the Edmonton Oilers are a team to watch out for in the West. Hopefully, hopefully we can get some wins against them in the regular season. Anyway, up next is the Washington Capitals. I mean, what are they? Back-to-back President's Trophy champions, but they can never get past the second round. That's the standing joke. Obviously, Alexander Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom, TJ Oshie, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Andrei Burakovsky. The list goes on and on and on. Just excellent depth players here. Eller, Wilson, Smith-Pelly, Beagle, Vrana. I mean, Connolly even. So it's just such a good team. They have a nice mixture of firepower and grindy-type players, but good grindy-type players. They also have Orlov, Carlson, Orpik, and Niskanen, a very solid top four there. And then Braden Holtby in net, one of the best goalies in the league, and he's backed up by Philip Grubauer, who is one of the best backups in the league. So, yeah, they could potentially also make the Stanley Cup, I guess, unless they just choke it away. Anyway, yeah, you can never count out the Chicago Blackhawks with guys like Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Brandon Saad, and Patrick Sharp they went back and got. But, I mean, like, yeah, this team is also just stacked. Richard Panik and Ryan Hartman, two guys that are stepping up. They're sort of split up there on the lineup. Marian Hossa and Artem Anisimov are two veterans on the team that can definitely anchor these young guys. And they did lose some pieces over the years, but they're still pretty competitive with guys like Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook. And, yeah, it's a pretty solid lineup overall. And, of course, Corey Crawford is in net. So the Blackhawks, they could potentially contend there in the West as well. Yes, we have them in the West, so hopefully, oh man, if we had to face them in the playoffs, if we even make the playoffs, I don't know. It's going to be a rough year here in the West. Next up, the Toronto Maple Leafs, led by Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander, the three young kids. This team is on the rise. They also have a nice mixture of veterans in James Van Riemsdyk, Patrick Marleau, Nazem Kadri, Tyler Bozak, and Leo Komarov. They just all the way down the lineup there, as you can see. Very, very solid team. Potentially a potential championship team, I should say. Potential dynasty. They also got guys like Jake Garner and Morgan Riley. And then in net, they have Frederick Anderson, who, yeah, former Anaheim Ducks goaltender. And, yeah, this team can definitely get it done. Now, I was about to count this team out, but I'm like, yeah, you can't really ever count out the Nashville Predators with that fan base. You know what I mean? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Anyway, they're led by Ryan Johansson, Philip Forsberg, and Victor Arvidsson. And everyone else is pretty much just... Okay, so here, yeah, their whole lineup right here, everybody below the first line, they're all third-line players, pretty much. They're pretty much all third-line players. So that can be good and bad. It's bad for your second line, but it's good for your fourth line. So I guess a pretty solid lineup. I get it balances out, I guess. But right here, this is what makes them good. Their top four, Roman Josi, PK Subban, Ryan Ellis, and Matthias Ekholm are the best top four defensemen. That the group right there are the best top four defensemen in the entire NHL. That is going to be deadly. And then in net, they have Pekka Rinne to top it all off. So it's going to be almost impossible to score on this team. And they might lead in defense here throughout the season. So I'm excited to get this going. I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode. The actual simulation will take place in the next episode. And yeah, again, it depends what happens. If we're good, then we'll try to win the Stanley Cup. If we're bad, we'll try to tank. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go to school. Dan Carr Films out. Peace! I slurred my way through this entire video.